My name is Portia Mbambo, and this is the Youth Month in South Africa. South Africans are celebrating one of the biggest and a very memorable month of the youth in South Africa. I remember all about 1976. I'm not going to say much more because I'm joined by a wonderful guest. Her name is Thabile Mdluli. She is a master's student on political sciences. That's what we used to call it back in the day. Thabile also works closely, and she works with the DDP, the Democracy Development Program. She is one of the youngest upcoming, I'll call her the superstar.
Giving me too much credit, but
I am.
I'll
You
take
have
it,
it
I'll
all.
take it.
You have it. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, it's Youth Month.
It is
Yeah.
wonderful month. A month that's many people, many families back in 1976, they are not going to forget.
Yeah.
And here we are today. How does this signify with where we are currently as the youth?
I mean, firstly, we must discuss what is Youth Month all about, and what happened in 1976 on the 16th of June, to be more specific. We saw young people, rising and demonstrating that they did not want to be taught in Afrikaans.
Right.
They made a statement that, Afrikaans is the language of the colonizers, and they were not going to have it. And so we saw them. We see pictures. I was not there, but we saw pictures. We see pictures. We see videos of fearless young men and women who against all odds were going to say, even if you take my life, but you will not take my voice or what I stand up against, which is not having to use Afrikaans. And I think it's really big for us, and for me, I think I'm a little saddened by it when it becomes Youth Month. I'm always a little saddened by it.
Right.
Because when you look at the youth of today, they characterize us as apathetic, disillusioned, and quite disinvolved, or uninvolved rather, in the current status quo and the politics of today. What you also find is that Youth Month as a whole becomes a time where our government, politicians, they use this as little gimmicks, That's the time they remember us. If you look at the statistics, young people in South Africa, we constitute the majority.
Absolutely.
And you only find that the only time we're actually ever considered or talked about, or there's an emphasis to youth issues, youth challenges, right. It's only during the time of Youth Month. So I'm feeling two ways about it. Yes, I'm excited because of, the young men and women, or we can even say our mothers and fathers
age, yes.
and our uncles now, what they did for us in 1976. Because my mom, even though she wasn't heavily a part of politics, but she used to tell me that, they also used to march, and she would say, sometimes you could even feel a bullet, going past you. Yes. Even like she would say her desk mates, for example, she would go to school on Monday, and he would been, murdered, and unfortunately, because of standing up against the apartheid system at the time. So yes, our mothers, uncles, aunts, all of them, it's exciting to remember the sacrifices that they made for us. But then when you look at it now and what it's evolved to, yeah, it becomes quite saddening.
It's very saddening at times, honestly, as a parent.
Yeah.
When you view, like, what are you doing, man? Really? Wait, this is where we at.
Yeah.
So, I just involved myself there at the beginning when I said us as the youth. Forgotten that I'm not looking at the youth.
Youth and dad.
Youth and dad.
Is there such a thing?
I mean, we always create things. I mean, 80s king, the 80s baby still call ourselves babies.
And Sal.
No, we always say. Thabi, we're meeting, you're talking about very important points of being used as gimmicks, and it feels like it's always felt like that, even during our times as the youth, and it's now inherited by you. And unfortunately, this year is the local government elections. It is going to be a bit crazy.
Yeah,
it's already has started a bit.
It has.
There's so much that is happening during these times, and everybody right now, even the person who didn't deliver anything or didn't even meet with their community at the local level, they are out there and they're pushing. Everyone wants a vote. Here we are, 32 years later on, and still same system up in hands. And you, as the youth of the country, we have seen a very, very low voter turnaround. And it's been a question of what has happened, what has went wrong, where exactly are the young people's minds at? Now, help us understand, what are they telling you as a person who's closer with them? What exactly is their choice? I'm not going to say their problem, but what exactly?
What is the challenge?
Where is the
Where are we
challenge
going
exactly?
wrong?
Yes.
Yes. So firstly, let me just give you some statistics. I always like to back up my arguments with statistics.
Right.
So 2024 general elections, we had an electorate or possible electorate of 47 million. So those were the people that were eligible to register to vote and to participate. How many did we have registered? 27 million. How many actually did go out there and cast their vote? We had 17 million.6. So it's not just an issue with young people per se, but it's the entire electorate that we're finding is experiencing some sort of a disengagement when it comes to politics. If we even go back, you know, the first elections of 1994, we had almost an 80% voter turnout, and it's been steadily declining over the years, which because of the fact that people are no longer seeing the results when it comes to politics and the promises that are made by politicians during election seasons. Now, where the young person is actually concerned. So I'd like to, there's in politics, we like to talk about the 2K factor. But firstly, let's talk about the pre-2K factor, which is where I fall into. And so one of what we've been called into, I think we were the first generation to actually experience technology. So I think there was a certain period where we were introduced to technology, and then the 2K factor were the ones that have always experienced technology. Now, think about it. What happens with your phone? Everything is instantaneous, right? You have instant shopping, instant messaging, everything. I think the only thing now is instant and instant partner. That's the only thing that's
probably
missing.
It is somewhere.
Someone somewhere is cooking that up. But everything has come quite quickly to the young person. But now when you look at a democratic dispensation, it takes forever for results to actually happen. Let's think about it. Even let's just say you want to remove a ward councillor who's not working, right? For example, you first, as a community, have to write to the chief whip of that municipality to say so and so is not working. They have to lodge an investigation. After that investigation, they have to write to the MEC of local government. After writing to that MEC of local government, he also has to do an investigation of his own. And then and only then will that person be removed if they are found to be in contempt of the code of conduct. Also, political party dynamics. If the political party doesn't want to remove that person, it can also cause an endless cycle of that community having to endure being led by an individual who is not, who's not meeting the demands or is championing the interest of the community. So where young people are, I mentioned, instantaneous. That's exactly it. Young people are not receiving the instant gratification that they are used to. Democracy is very long. The processes take a very long time. That's why if you compare and contrast, we don't find a lot of young people during the election process in terms of actually going out there and vote, but we find them at protests, we find them at marches. Why is that? Because they can get an instant response. They can get instant gratification from an issue that they've been dealing with, which is as opposed to what you would find in regular democratic processes. But then also political parties as a whole, you find during election seasons, they don't meet all the promises. At 1 year, we remember someone said 2 million houses will be built if you vote for this particular political party. So many promises are made that they don't live up to them. And even when you remind politicians or elected officials, once you voted them in, of the promises that they made, they always say, no, we're going to come, we're going to come. Or what we're seeing now is they are now starting to deliver on those promises because why? It's election season. They want you to vote for them. So that's why we're seeing a lot of young people not wanting to engage, because because it's given them the one, I'm not going to get instant gratification from this. And number two, even if I vote, it's not going to change anything. That is, if I can sum up my argument or sum up what young people are feeling, is the fact that my vote will not bring change to the current situation that I'm facing. What are young people currently faced with? It's youth unemployment, that's us.
True.
It's HIV and AIDS statistics, that's us. Teenage pregnancy, that's us. The effects of climate change, that's us. It even gets worse when you actually become a girl child, as we were mentioning before. It even gets worse because we are, as females, we are the largest demographic. So it becomes worse. And because of that, young people then are saying, I'd rather just would not vote. I'd rather would just not waste my time. So that is the issue that we're currently faced with.
Sounds really, now that you're mentioning, it's breaking it down. It's taking the toll. But then, does this mean that democracy is not working for us? Is it letting us down?
So I'm so glad you brought that in, because I also wanted to mention that is why you're actually seeing, authoritarian regimes, where it's Burkina Faso, and I would even largely say Rwanda as well. They have a benevolent dictator who won the elections by 88%. You're seeing it in China. You're seeing it in various other places where a sole leader is able to make decisions for their community or their constituency, and they're able to get results. And I put that in quotation marks because it's authoritarian regimes, dictatorships are very problematic on their own. But again, to then answer your question, is democracy failing us? I also feel, in the very same breath with everything that I've said, we also haven't pushed democracy to its limits. If you look at the voter turnout, I said it was 17 million who voted in 2024. That was just around the 50% mark, 51, 53. That's where we are in terms of the voter turnout. But again, what is democracy? It's a numbers game, right? It's who got the most numbers, right? So also what we need to consider is that democracy doesn't have a quorum. It doesn't mean that because in a demographic or in a country of over 60 million and those who are eligible are 47 million, that by come rain or sunshine, for democracy to meet its quorum, 20 million people need to come out. It doesn't have that. Even if 1,000 people came out, it would still be, the results will still be legitimate because it doesn't have a quorum. So what we're finding here, you're having the same people who are experiencing so many challenges, but who are then not positioning themselves to elect leaders who will be able to champion their interest or to bring a change to the status quo. So I can't fully say that democracy isn't working. Maybe if we've consistently for the past 5 election cycles have had a 90% voter turnout, then I can say, yeah, sure, democracy is failing us. But let's also remember, democracy doesn't stop at the X. It won't stop on the 4th of November 2026. There's still so many things that you can do in between election periods or seasons where you can have your voice heard. But what we're doing is we're reducing it to just the X. And then we're branding democracy as not useful or futile.
It's very interesting what you're saying. I'm also a bit concerned that, I mean, it's not even a concern, but it's true that even if you're voting or you're not voting, but someone is taking a decision for you.
Exactly.
So whether you turn out or you're not, but someone is definitely making a voice towards your own silent one. That's the first and most important one.
So what you're doing is you're not adding a counter. You're making it easy for them.
For them, yes.
So now what you're doing is you're giving them a pass to be able to lead you. Whereas what you should be doing is making it difficult. Because I think when we sit and we caucus as young people, we know who certain people are going to vote for.
Yeah.
So it should be our job and our responsibility to say, okay, they're going to right now give us manifestos, right? Yeah. Promises of what they're going to do door to door as well. I even told them where I live, I was like, you better come here because I have a lot of questions and send your best people because I'm going to ask you some serious questions. So it's important for us as well to not just say, oh, it doesn't work or we're going to get the same result, but it's also important for us to say, okay, we have 508 political parties in South Africa which are registered. We also have independent candidates. From all those 508 plus the independent candidates, who can lead me? Who has the better chance, or who do I see as being able to champion my interest? And then go for it. I also then say, if you as an individual have not found anyone to vote for you, to vote for, or you feel like is worthy of your vote, vote in solidarity. Because again, it's a numbers game. For example, where I'm from, we haven't had water for 7 years. No running water for 7 whole years. So if you know, so if I, for example, have found an individual that I think will champion my interest and solve the challenges that I'm faced with, then vote in solidarity with me, because I need your vote. It's a numbers game at the end of the day.
It is a numbers game. But I know of a Gogos will go out and vote.
Yep.
Gogos will vote.
There was a joke.
Whether it's raining or it's not,
Yes.
they turn out and they vote.
There was a joke. Actually, someone said, it's the elections, go hide your granny's IDs, because we all know what they're going to do.
Mine will kill me. My mother will shoot me. Believe me. You try that with her. She wants to vote a day before.
Oh, yes, with the special vote.
She wants to go and vote, and she will tell you, you will take me there.
Yes.
So we know who's going to vote. So whether young person you are voting or not, Cocos will make a decision for you.
Exactly.
They will, definitely. Now, Thabi, here we are. Does the voter registration work for us as South Africans? I mean, you just said it. Everything is digital. I remember last time it was beautiful to see the digital spaces being able. But is it really favorable to the younger generation?
To have a digital voting system? I think definitely, because now with the comfort of your own home, comfort of your own chair, you can go online and register yourself to vote. But it doesn't only stop there. If you've moved, for example, so it's local government elections, right? So you must vote where you are registered, as opposed to 2024, you could apply for a section 24A, which would allow you to cast your vote, provided that you were in the same province. You could still cast your vote both for the provincial, regional, as well as the national, if you were still in the same province. If you had moved, you'll only get the national ballot paper. But this time around, there's none of that. There's no section 24A. You have to vote where you are registered. So what this allows you to do is that it allows you to actually change your address. So if you know you're moving to Joburg, you know, Amadlila Class and whatnot. So it allows you to change. You don't have to stand in a queue come the voter registration weekend, which will be on the 20th and 21st of June, 2026. And I believe the second one will be on the 1st to the 2nd of August, 2026. So you can do that at home in your own time.
For a first-time voter, what should they know?
Those
are the fun ones.
Love them.
Those are the fun ones.
I love them. I love them. So for me, one of the things that part of what I would say is that voting does work, and do not let what your parents, what your friends, what social media will tell you, go prove it for yourself. Because what we find is that a lot of them will get discouraged from voting because of what they've heard from their parents, friends, teachers, social media, it telling them that voting doesn't work, or their favorite influencers will tell them, you know, voting doesn't work. So go prove it for yourself, because remember, especially this year, it's local government elections. That is the government that is closest to you. That's your ward councillor, your mayor. So the decisions that they make will impact you, and you'll be able to feel them more intimately. Their decisions or their incompetence, whichever way it goes, you will feel it more intimately, because it's the government that is closest to you. NgesiZulu sithi uhulumeni wasekhaya, yes, because you can feel it more closely. So it's important for you to go out there and have your voice heard, to say, this is who, or this is the party that I want to lead me, because believe you me, you will feel the repercussions of other people making the decision for you. And I think also, just as a young person as well, we don't have to sit on the sidelines. If you are a young person, I know that since the election date hasn't yet been proclaimed, you can still register to be a candidate to actually stand in the upcoming elections.
And this will be very interesting.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to see more independent people, to hear what they have to say.
Exactly. So especially, you know, at a ward level, if you know that you've been very big in your community and you've been, you know, championing the certain issues, and or people know you, you know, you have gravitas and you have aura, all of those things, and your community looks up to you, you can definitely register as a candidate. You only have to be 18 years of age. You have to get roughly around 100 signatures from people in your community who believe in your leadership capabilities, and there's a small fee that you pay to the IEC, and then from then on you just go out there and you campaign, and you encourage people in your community to vote for you.
That sounds very doable.
Exactly.
But I like your generation, Thabi. I like how you guys are so open with what I'm voting for. I was very, I laughed my bum off on this one. When my daughter, she voted for the first time last year. And then the last election, sorry, she said, she was in the queue and like, I've been here since 6 a.m. She doesn't like queues. I've been here since 6 a.m. and since 9 now. I'm hungry, but I'm going to stand here. And she tells me who she's going to vote for. When my mother, she's sitting on the other side, she's like,
you don't do that.
Who are you voting for again? She's trying to get her to vote for her party. So that was a very nice dynamic to feel and see, because where we come from, we're not going to tell you who I'm voting for because you are afraid for your life. Now, here we are, later on, we are able to say, no, I feel this one is actually going to take care of my needs and how. But we still have challenges. Thabi, you mentioned job opportunities, unemployment. We still have challenges that have to do with security in our country and so forth. But I would like to put you a bit on the spot on this one. We have a huge issue right now that is just raised within our society.
I think I know where you're
South Africans are xenophobic. Are we really xenophobic? I mean, we have a bright democracy that is well known and is world class from what we've had. But here we are, we're being pointed as xenophobic people.
South Africans are not xenophobic. And this is why I say it. Because what are the issues that South Africans are bringing up? It's illegal immigration, people that are undocumented, that are not supposed to be in the country. That has been at the core. And the challenges that come with that, because if I don't know where you are from, how do I keep you accountable? The government as a whole doesn't know how many illegal immigrants there are in the country. We've seen, I think, in South Beach, we've seen in various parts of Durban, people complaining about the issues that have been brought by illegal immigrants in the country. And all of those are completely valid. And it is a duty of a country's citizens to raise concerns and to raise issues. On the other hand, if it was merely we don't want any immigrants in the country, then we can say, okay, South Africans, you are xenophobic. But they are raising a concern about illegal immigrants. Where it gets dicey for me, it gets a bit dicey for me, and I'll tell you why. Because along illegal immigration, which I do understand and I do appreciate, the other part for me is, you know, it's then branded as foreigners are here to take your job and. But for me, when I look at the means of production in South Africa, when we look at the wealth, who still holds majority of the wealth in South Africa? It's white people. And for me, my concern with certain groups such as your March and March and all of them that are there is the fact that a lot of the attention is placed on the black face as opposed to the white minorities that still largely hold the means of productions here in the country. If you look, not even in South Africa only, if you go to your Burkina Faso's, the minerals that are still occupied there, they're occupied by France, right? In many different parts of Africa, you still find that it's the Western powers, it's Europe that still owns the means of productions of Africa. So yes, I completely understand and say yes, illegal immigrants hold no right or hold no space or should hold no space in South Africa if they are undocumented. But my issue is that then what are we doing about this issue that has been around for over 150 years of white minorities holding majority of the wealth? And then secondly, the part that I also have an issue with is then, yes, illegal immigrants will go, and some are even pushing for immigrants as a whole to go. It's then to say then, what is your plan afterwards? There seems to be no succession. There's no point of to say, okay, when we are done with this, this is what we are going to do. And that is something that's very problematic for me, because it just shows as if it's very surface level. It doesn't prove to have a real and true agenda to benefit the black South African in the country, who is complaining of the fact that illegal immigrants are paid below minimum wage, and because of that you'd find that companies, organizations, even domestic people, they even hire them because they pay below minimum wage, and they take that, right? And so yes, I do see all of that. Then my issue is afterwards. What are we then doing afterwards? That becomes my problem. It's the attention on the black face, and then it's also then what are you doing with the white minorities who still occupy a majority of the wealth here in South Africa?
It's a very, very interesting take, and thanks for that, Thabi, because it's been bugging me. Are we really xenophobic? And this word of xenophobia, I hate
because even if you
word.
go to countries such as England, you go there, I mean, some of them, they would come, even if you're a South African, you go maybe on a student visa and you stay for, you overstay, or you work even while you're on a student visa, they will deport you. So there is nothing wrong with South Africans having those, ensuring that they enforce the law, of course, for the safety of South Africans, to ensure the prosperity and the growth of the economy of South Africa. There's nothing wrong with that. My issue doing with the white minority that still occupies majority of the land.
Which is very true, and it's out there for all of us to see. So that's a very good question there. Now, Thabi, what gives you hope now towards our youth when you are engaging with them?
I think what gives me hope is that it's not all completely lost. When you sit down with young people, we mentioned just before we began some of the young people that we know, some of the brilliant young people that we know, and the fact that, we're not an island. The fact that we have people that we talk to, people that we impact. It's the fact that we're able to knowledge share. And when you sit down with young people and you explain to them, this is how you can better yourself, or this is how you can move your country forward. I believe that young people actually love their country. They love South Africa, And so I think that gives me hope that they will fight for it till the end. And they are willing to learn, willing to grow, and for the most part, willing to be a part of the process, whatever it is that might take. So I think that gives me hope to say it's not all completely lost.
All completely lost.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank God for that. Now, a quick game. 1 word or 2 words. Oh, man. All my guests always listen to this one.
I'm terrible at this.
All right. Voting in 1 word.
In 1 word. Yeah. So voting in 1 word. Can I even?
Okay. No, well, 2 words. 3 words.
3 words. Your voice, or make it count.
All right. Democracy.
Power of the people.
Okay. Youth people, or rather young people in 1 word.
Energetic.
Right.
Vibrant. Yes.
Almost said the 2000s.
It's okay.
The biggest voting myth.
Biggest voting myth is that the one that I am standing on business on and will try and debunk. If you don't vote, your vote does not automatically go to another party. It will not go to the ANC if you do not vote. That's the one that I've heard the most.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you don't vote, your vote does not automatically go to another party.
Another party. It's not existing.
It's non-existent.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. One reason every young person should go out and register.
One reason. Oh, there's so many, but Because nothing will change if you don't. It's going to stay the same, and you're going to continue complaining, saying that things don't change, but you have to actively work for it to change. At the core of democracy is citizen participation.
Right.
So democracy works only if you work it. Yeah.
No, that's a great one. In the few seconds that I have, a message to South Africans, especially young South Africans.
My message to South Africans is that you are worth it. You're worth it. I love South Africans. I think they're beautiful, absolutely vibrant. You are worth it. Please fight for yourself, because you are worth the life that you desire. You're worth everything that you dream of. You are worth it. So please fight for yourself, and know that you are deserving of that. Whether it's a job that is going to give you a house and a car, it's a government that is going to lead you with honesty and ethics and competence. You are worthy of that. So please fight for it.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Thabi, for joining us.
Thank you for
It's such a wonderful space to have you. I know it will have you on other matters as well on the next one. But for this one, thank you so much to you, African Echo person or community. Let me tell you one thing. Remember that our voices are equal to our democracy. So if you're not putting forward your voice, that simply says that democratically you are not active, and public participation and citizen participation, as Thabi has given us that indication, you are probably or particularly not in the in the main front. So make sure that you go out there, register, vote, put your mark, and let's meet again next time. And thanks to our partners, the Salts Cafe, Urban Events. Well, thank you so much for your contribution at all times. For today, till next time, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.